All right, what's up, nerds? Welcome back to the back page, episode DOS number 2. Good to be back.
You beauty.
Origin on the horizon.
We're on the cusp of Origin season.
Mate, it's all going on this week. It is absolutely all going on.
Teams announced at week's end, Sunday night, after the game.
I don't think anyone's sure. I think Freddie said Monday.
But they always get leaked.
They always get leaked. I think they'll wait because Manly are playing on Sunday at 4.
I love how so much stuff just gets leaked in the NRL because everything is so closely affiliated with the media. Like there's so many ties.
Yeah.
So everything just is always getting leaked.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
I love it.
We're still not 100% sure how the back page is going to run. We're kind of flirting with a few different ideas. We obviously went through all the games last week.
We might try something different this week.
We're just going to go through all the major talking points. We'll obviously touch on the games from the weekend and the games that are coming up this week as well.
Some of the games are a bit nothing. So we don't have to talk about the nothing games.
We don't need to talk about the nothing games.
Does anyone really want to know about the Bulldogs-Warriors game?
No.
Respectfully.
From us. You've already heard it, you know?
I watched the game, but I watched the highlights, but I'm not going to go on.
Exactly right.
Also, we've got coming up Backpage special next week.
Yep.
Origin special. Nathan Rolly Bates back again.
Returns. He's basically begged us to come back on.
Seeing as we're going to do a rough guess on this episode of the spots that are kind of up in the air in the teams, because there's only about 2 positions on each team that is like questionable, but they're pretty locked and loaded.
I actually quite like that we'll be doing it because obviously when Nathan's on next week, we'll be talking plenty of Origin. I like that we'll be able to look and analyse the teams instead of just blowing up over
potentials.
So that'll be good. Top of the order today. Only overnight, Anthony Griffin sacked from the St George Dragons. It was a long time coming. It's almost tough to watch this whole thing unfold. It's like we've all known for weeks that he was going to get. It's like the poor guy.
He literally has been. They actually finished the season just outside the 8 last year. They came 9th, and the bells were ringing kind of thing before the season even started that he was going to get sacked. So, I think people must have known something going like behind the scenes when only 3 players rocked up to the end of year function, that kind of thing. There's and all the stuff that happened in COVID. Zach Lomax has been dropped. They say it's for his goal kicking. When's anyone ever been just get a different kicker? Yeah. Yeah, look, there's must be a lot of stuff behind the scenes that is just not right. And I don't think things have been quite right at the Dragons for a while. So, unfortunately, Anthony Griffin got the chop, but you lose 6 games in a row, kind of happens.
Yeah.
And they've not improved in any way from last year or look like they will improve.
Well, like you were saying at the start of the season, even looking over the off-season, it's almost hard to cast your mind back. But at the time, we're sitting there going, all the other teams have improved. Knights have improved. Titans have improved. Roster-wise, Tigers have improved, We're looking around going, all these teams look like they're on an upward trajectory. Whether that's come to fruition this year or not, at the time of the off-season, we're going, the Dragons haven't signed anyone.
They signed Zane Musgrove.
And Jacob Little. They signed the players the Tigers didn't want. With the greatest respect to those players, Little's been quite good for the Dragons, I thought.
Yeah, he's not been bad. I didn't think Little was ever that bad at the Tigers, to be fair. I just think, we don't need him.
No, exactly.
It was unnecessary.
Exactly. And, kind of the whole time he's been there, who you signed McCulloch, you're like, McInnes. You signed Aaron Woods. You're signing Murdoch, Masilla. Players of this calibre, it's...
Oh, there was someone else that we let go of and now is like a gun as well. And can't remember who it is. My mind has just jumped a blank.
Like you say, the writing's been on the wall for Griffin for a while. He's gone. Apparently Jason Riles.
Yep, Melbourne. That was the coach I was trying to think of the other week.
Yeah,
the name escaped me and I didn't want to say someone that wasn't the right person. Yes. So it comes as no shock that on the back of Craig Bellemy saying he's staying for another year, this assistant coach is in hot talks with the new Dragons coach. Shane Flanagan, anytime a new club becomes available, he's always in the discussion just because he's a premiership winning coach who is currently available.
I'd be going Flanagan. Every Flanagan.
Team would love to have Shane Flanagan as their coach.
I don't know.
He's the assistant for Manly.
Is that like why has he not been
assistant at the Dragons?
Has he not been signed as a first grade coach because of what happened at the Sharks? Is that?
I think it's just his. Well, he also has like media duties with Fox. He's a commentator.
But he must like coaching if he's still assistant coach, right? Like,
but maybe it's like the pressure and the scrutiny of like being the guy is maybe what he just doesn't enjoy.
Look,
maybe it's just for him. He's like, well, I've got more. Could be a simple work-life balance thing. Although it sounds weird to say about an NRL coach, but if he's probably making good money with Fox, still gets the coaching element from being an assistant coach at different clubs. You know, maybe he's just kind of, I'll dust my hands and be done with it kind of thing for head coaching. But I would love him at the Dragons.
Because he kind of built the Sharks with like the most random sort of team. Almost all that, like Ben Barber, Ennis, like all these outcast kind of players. Like you'd love to see him do that at the Dragons. You'd love to.
Yeah. And then also, the great John Morris was his assistant coach.
You take John Morris.
I'd take John Morris. If John Morris came to the Dragons, I'd be bloody stoked as well.
Yeah.
Look, and Ben Hornby as well.
Yeah. His name's in the ring.
Assistant coach at South, probably a little fresh, I think, to get a
little green.
But look, if the Melbourne assistant coach, you'll take a Bellemy tutored coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not
it's kind of sort of the best option you got, I guess. But
I would be snapping it up.
We interesting to see what happens with Ben Hunt.
Well, look, if Ben Hunt was to stand by Griffin, that's fine. Because
do you get the feeling that he leaves at season? How old is he?
He's like 34, I think.
Yeah.
But to be fair, look, I already said last week, if he leaves, as much as it would suck because we'd be bad, but we'd be worse off. But we're already bad. So
it's almost like you have to start from the ground up.
Yeah, it's like, he's a beast. Yeah, he's a good player. I like him. I think he's awesome. He carries the Dragons, but we're already bad.
Yeah,
we're already in a bad spot. Him being there doesn't help him or us.
He's 33. He's 33.
Trade him for a bit of leverage, bit of something.
Yeah,
get a good deal out of it.
Yeah, tough. Respectfully, sort of taking the pressure off the Tigers being the toughest club to support at the moment, but Dragons are a bit going on there.
Yep,
bit going on.
We'll be back.
It's really hard to like be a part of a fan base when like it is stuff going on behind the scenes. It's like this is almost out of your control, out of the players' control to an extent. It's like
yes, and then when all the noise starts happening, like it would get to you as a player. Like you'd hear it.
Yeah, totally.
Like you couldn't not. So surely there's a bit of that. Same with the Tigers. Like imagine how much head noise and just noise goes around.
Oh yeah.
They said people saying this, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But they definitely they've kind of had a bit less. This year it wasn't as bad as last year. This year it was more going along the lines of okay, the spoon kind of was good because it put less pressure on them because they were already at the bottom. And then they got these signings, but then it became a question of when are they going to win? More of like, just kind of.
Well, kinda. I think like you're almost forgetting like, dude, those first like 9 or 10 weeks, we were under the pump. It was like, are the Tigers like we were talking like the conversations were coming up about the Tigers like not surviving in the NRL because it's like if this doesn't work, like what happens with Benji in 2 years if the Tigers get 2 spoons, like. Mate, you win 2 games of rugby league and all the noise just stops.
To be fair, the Bulldogs were a bottom 3 team for 5, 6, 7 years. So the Tigers have got a bit more time than them, I think.
Yeah, but you gotta remember that it's like the no finals thing. Like the Tigers have been going on. This has been happening for 10 years, mate. Like,
the Bulldogs played a grand final only 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like the Bulldogs have at least sort of been there or thereabouts for parts of it, you know, like the Tigers haven't played finals since 2011. So it's crazy. And this is the thing that I always talk about with rugby league. It's like it is so frustrating that how much media scrutiny like that a club can get. And look at it, like the Tigers are the perfect example. We win 2 games. We win one against Penrith and one against the Dragons who haven't been great. And we, you know, go down to South, but we played all right. And
it was the last 10 minutes that they conceded. It was 8-0 the whole game.
They're looking much better, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, I think the Tigers have a few surprises in store for a couple of teams on the back end of this year, just quietly.
They're defending really well, they just can't score.
Their young players are also starting to play better.
Baller's been awesome.
Yeah, but they're young like
pack.
Wingers, centers, those young guys starting to play a lot better.
Yeah.
Starting to just kind of maybe get to the speed of the men's game.
Yeah.
Because they are all quite young. They're all in their early 20s or 20 kind of spec. So I think maybe that towards the end of this year, I don't know. I think there could be a couple little surprises in store for some people.
Yeah, we'll see. They've definitely looked like, and each week it seems like Luke Brooks has gotten. Again, I didn't think I'd be saying this. I don't know still don't necessarily agree or disagree with the direction of the club going forward. But if we look at it on face value over the last few weeks, Brooks has looked a lot better and a lot more confident than he did at the start of the season. So yeah, I would say like positive signs for the Tigers. Positive signs.
Not hopeful, but positive.
Yeah, they kind of go. Yeah.
Moving on. Wow. If anyone watched the Roosters-Panthers game, God, the Panthers played well. I know the Roosters maybe didn't have their best game. Joe Manu also got injured, not great. But before that point, they were still about 3 or 4 tries down. 48-4. Now, Roosters again going through a couple injury problems. Arguably, and form problems before that. Other salary cap gods paying a bit of, getting their dividends, coming to collect a bit of tax. But, now that they dropped Sam Walker, okay, they made him a bit of the scapegoat. I thought once they dropped Sam Walker, they haven't looked anywhere near as threatening in attack. Although I do love Joey Manu, but I feel like Sam Walker did give a bit of X factor. They're just completely out of sync. Is the way everyone's talking about it and the way they look. Like Penrith destroyed them. Jerome Luai, Cleary, tall and apart.
I don't know. I can't comment on the Roosters. I don't think anyone knows what's going on there at the moment. Yeah, I like you don't even really know what to say. Like you look at their side, and mate, they are just absolutely stacked. If I can find it here somewhere, and mate, it's almost just like you just don't know. You just don't know where to go. Like I kind of thought Brandon Smith coming in was going to be that final piece of the puzzle, for the Roosters, and they just haven't really clicked. And all it takes is 2 wins in a row to sort of turn your season around. So,
and they're not doing horribly, mind you. Like they're still until this game, they were still in the 8.
Yeah,
but I think just the expectation for that side, especially with getting Brandon Smith.
Yeah.
You just think, okay, well, and especially after they made a big call, drop Sam Walker, you're going, all right, well, you've dropped, one of your better prospects in the team. Now you'd expect things to start working, and they haven't. So, what happens here for the Roosters? Who knows? It is going to be a pretty big origin period for them. There's a lot of games they have to win.
Yeah.
They're not going to have 2. They'll have Teddy out. They'll have Collins out. They might have Crichton out later.
Yeah.
But that's only 2 players, and their team is deep.
So, their next 2 games, they've got the Dragons and the Bulldogs.
Then they've
got Penrith again. Then Newcastle and Canberra. So, look, you'd hope they go back to back there on the Dragons and the Dogs.
Look at the Dolphins. Got the Storm next week as well. Tied on points. Tied on games.
Incredible.
Points difference is only 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, incredible.
Speaking of the Storm, Bellemy signs on for another year.
Shocked.
Are you shocked?
No, not shocked at all. Not shocked at all.
Last dance spec?
Cooper Cronk says it on the panel all the time. Like Craig Bellamy's been retiring for the last 10 years. He loves rugby league. He loves
Cam
rugby
Smith
league.
was supposed to retire about 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, and then Craig Bellamy's comments when obviously this has all come out this week was, start of the season he was done. And he's like, this will be it for me. This will be my last season. And then something along the lines of he just had conversations over the last few months with people that are retired, and you're a long time retired, right? Like he's relatively young for a coach, especially in comparison to Bennett and Tim Sheen. So yeah, maybe he just loves it too much. He loves it too much. I'd be the day he retires, I will be shocked. I'll be very, very shocked today. I just can't see. It doesn't feel like it to me.
And also, I think his work's not done with that team.
No.
And I imagine it would be hard. That Storm system would be so crafted to him and how he likes things.
Yeah.
So handing that over to someone else, his literal.
Yeah.
That's like that club is like, people think of Storm like, you think of Craig Bellemy before you think of the players that have played for them.
Yeah.
So I imagine it would be hard to pass over something like that.
I could see him retiring at the end of an era, right? Like the fact that he didn't retire at the end of Smith, Cronk, Slater was kind of like, okay, he's moving forward with the Harry Grant, Pappenhausen, Munster,
next gen.
Yeah, Jerome Hughes, you know. So that's the perfect way to put it. Like his work's not done with this side.
No.
They've got Prems in them, bro. They're going to win another Prem in the next 5 years at some stage.
Beat the Broncos. You know, that game. Refs having a lot to do with the outcome of that. Yeah. And the Storm did play better than the Broncos, mind you. But the refs had a lot. The reffing decisions in that game. The start of that game, I thought the reffing was great. As the game went on, the reffing just got worse and worse.
Yeah, well, there was an incredible amount of penalties in that game from memory.
Hip drop as well. Pat Carrigan got done for a hip drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was questionable.
Yeah.
I mean, was it a hip drop? Yeah, he does land in that position, but I don't think he, at any point in the tackle, intends for that position to occur.
Yeah,
it's the same thing when the head highs started, when there's like the forceful or like intent or no intent thing. Like, obviously, he's just been blown past there.
Yeah, and
that's the end position.
Yeah, it's such a weird one. I almost don't even know how to comment on this. Like, it's like, do the NRL have to come out and like say something? Because what's Carrigan supposed to do in that situation? Right, he grabs him from the front. The guy almost sort of shrugs him off and he swings round to his back naturally. Like he's almost swung round.
Because he gets blasted through.
Yeah, he's swung around. He's just clinging on. And like he kind of, I guess you could say he kind of slides down. But it's not like he's landed awkwardly under his body or anything. You know, there's got to be a bit of common sense, I think, from the referees here. And whether it needs to go to the bunker or not, probably not. You know, I don't know, like probably not. Looking at the slow-mo is probably not the best thing, but... Yeah, it's really, really weird one. Really, really weird one.
Well, I just find, and there's been a couple calls recently, and I feel like it just keeps happening. And it's kind of just before Origin, you always find it kind of worrying to see the refs pop up in the headlines because you go, oh no, does that mean come Origin, like the best quality games that you could want, are the refs going to start dominating the conversation? And if so, it just totally takes away from the game and totally ruins the spectacle. And, you know, you see people going to the sin bin for a slap in the face in the Warriors game. You're seeing some of the sin bins for, like, the alleged hit drops, some of them not getting sin bin. You're going, like, pretty much 2 weeks out from the biggest game or games of the year is not great to see. I find it worrying to see that. I don't like it.
Yeah, like, they usually are pretty good in Origin. Like, and you find in there and in the finals and stuff, like, the refs are pretty good at mediating the game and sort of like keeping their hands off, but they're really not putting themselves in a good position going into it.
No, and
not that it's necessarily them. Like it's also to do with the NRL and the way the game's changing. But you know, whether it's the refs or the NRL, you know, alike, it's a little worrying.
I don't know. Have you noticed it last couple of weeks? There's been more decisions, and some of the decisions for me that I've found quite weird is decisions where they could play advantage to the end of the play. They call it back. They end up actually initially getting the call wrong. And had they played on, there's a try there for the team.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go, well, you've got the ref. You can let the play go and then ask to review it.
Yeah.
You know? And then, or you can let the advantage go.
Yeah.
And then decide to call it back here.
Are you talking about was this the Xavier Coates try or whatever?
Well, there was one there. There was the Jack Whiten one, where the ball got through into his head.
Yeah, true.
There was another one as well.
Because you remember,
I don't know. There's just been a couple recently, even for stuff like knock-ons and I don't know. I know you can't always get it right, and the refs do a good job, but
quick to blow the whistle sort of thing.
Yeah, I just sometimes just worries me a little bit for Origin when you see these headlines.
Do you remember a couple of years ago when there was a South Tigers game when Burgess scored on the buzzer? And then Brooks picked it up and ran the field. Yep. And we all, you know, we all applauded the ref for like letting the game go.
Yeah.
Because like Brooks could have scored, right? But yeah, I agree. I'm not concerned about Origin. I wouldn't say I'm concerned. Like I say, I do have faith that they're pretty good at just sort of letting the game go. But if like a hip drop happens in Origin, it'll be or like a sort of a contentious one. Are we then sitting back and going, well, you didn't call it here, you didn't call it in Origin, you're calling the club, what's going on? So interesting to see.
Because effectively, it should be the same rules.
Do we need to? I wouldn't mind talking about the Knights Titans game maybe before we go into a bit of Origin chat.
Okay. Ponga. It was good to see him back. Good to see him back running around. Him playing his man of the match performance sealed my 8 out of 8 in tipping this week also, so I was stoked for that. I actually got up and clapped when he scored his try.
Yeah.
I clapped.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I was just happy to see him back. He's such a good player to watch when he's on.
Yeah, I know.
And it's good to see the Knights win again. Good to see. I think the Titans been a bit hot and cold last few weeks.
Mate, I'm not.
They started the season quite well. I know they've had a few injuries. If Bo Fermor was playing, none of this would be happening. My favorite player, one of my favorite players, but I know AJ as well. Heart and soul of that team.
True.
No AJ for the last couple of weeks.
True. I haven't quite been sold by the Titans just yet. I feel like even in their wins, even in the games that they've won, they've been conceding a lot of tries, and that always kind of concerns me. It's a very West Tigers thing to do, win and concede 4 tries. They just, I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure on where the Titans are at. I still wouldn't have them in the top 8 going forward. But
I'll just say, this game though, Knights Titans, that is a stinky overs game,
dude.
That game you could smell an overs from fucking
and
another
every
country.
try scorer that you would have picked scored, and I'm filthy. I didn't have.
Yes.
Did you see all the 5 try scorer bets that got up?
No.
There was heaps that I saw on Facebook, like in groups and stuff. It was like they all scored, like both the Knights wingers,
both centers.
Best Gagai for feeder.
Ponga.
Khan Pereira scores every week. Jaden Campbell, like
David Fafita.
Overs, like it was just.
They would have lost some serious money on this,
easy
and it was a
pickings.
13+.
Yeah, easy pickings there.
Can I just say two points to finish on? 1, Raiders absolutely trotting right now. 5 wins in a row.
That snuck up
They had
on
a
me.
bye week. Yeah, they've been sneaky good the last few weeks.
Yeah.
They beat like this game as well, Parramatta. But again, you just think Parramatta. What's going on?
Who knows?
Who knows?
But the Raiders, they're just winning games. Yeah, they
beat
beat
the
the
Dogs.
Dogs. Beat the Dolphins. That was a great win.
They beat the
bye
Broncos.
week. Yeah,
Beat the Dragons.
So, I mean, they're doing all right. The Milk.
And that was
Doing all
after
right.
they got flogged as well.
Yeah.
And then they come back pretty strong. Now we're talking about. I'll relate this to the bit of Blues discussion. This next point. So we had the Sharks win narrowly against the Seagulls, with Nico Hines, pretty dominant for most of the game. Although I thought at the end when it was kind of a big moment for him to stand up. A little bit quiet in the last 20 minutes of that game when the Seagulls started coming back. No, they had a lot of ball, but Sharks dominated before then. But he was a little bit quiet, I thought.
Yeah.
Luai, however, in this absolute trouting of the Roosters, mate, the bloke was on fire. He was everywhere.
Yeah, he's man in the match.
To be fair, you're picking this Blues team. This is the thing with Luai. He's got, okay, the versus the Broncos this week. If they smash the Broncos, he has a good game. He's getting picked for sure, you'd think.
I think after that game, he's picked.
I think he should get picked regardless. But has a great record without Cleary. People are always going, trying to just kind of say in a way that he's not that good without him.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Mate, Cleary was out for the first, 6 weeks of the season one time, and Panthers didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon was leading around the park? Took Samoa to a World Cup final. People forget that. That just happened recently.
Yeah.
Has won 2 premierships in a row.
Yeah.
In a row.
Yeah.
Has won New South Wales Origin Series.
Yeah. He's a weapon.
Come on.
People,
Come on.
we talk about it every week. Like, I do think in time, it will be Nico. But right now, with the New South Wales team that is, the past seasons, everything that's going on, the context of the game at the moment, Luai is the guy. He's the guy.
He's got the right to be there still. That you can't get rid of him.
This is the most frustrating thing about Origin for me, is that every year we go, wow, Queensland just pick and stick. You know, no matter what, they stand by their players. And when they pull on that Queensland jersey, they get it done. And every single year, we roll around to this time and there's just everyone talking about, you know, who's going to be in this position, who's going to be in this position. We got a player like Jerome Luai, whose position in the squad's come under scrutiny for what?
For nothing. And do you know what? Like I said last week, KP played 14 for Queensland and he played in the middle. He was everywhere. He was an impact. Nicho, and like that was KP at the start of his career. Nicho Hynes at this point is better than KP was at that point. Nicho Hynes could honestly, like if he put the 14 on, I think he could be used anywhere. If you needed him that badly. I don't think if he played 14, I don't think it would be the worst thing. But that just depends, coming on to the point I know you'd want to talk about. For 14, do they pick someone like Nicho or do they pick a Matt Burton? Or do they pick an Appy Coruscant?
Yeah, I think there's more. Well, you know where I've spoken about it on the pod over the last few weeks. I don't see Nicho getting picked at least for game one. At least for game one. It wouldn't shock me if he was there at some stage over the course of the series, but I don't think for game one he makes the side. I just don't think there's room for him. I think, of course, the importance of the ruck speed and the fresh legs in the middle is too important for. And again, you could argue that Nicho could play 9, but when you've got someone like Appy Coruscant and Damien Cook who are both playing great footy, like it's just too obvious to me. So I think Nicho's 18th man, and then barring injuries, he comes in. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Maybe we should if you're adamant that Nicho's going to be on the bench, we should have a bet, and whoever, if he's on the bench.
I'm not that sure though. I'm not that sure he will be on the bench.
Okay.
I still think Matt Burton could still sneak on as a 14.
Yeah. And okay. Because you don't think there's going to be a second hooker.
I don't want them to pick one.
Do you think there will be though?
I think there will be, but I don't want there to be.
Yeah.
Okay. I want it to be like a Matt Burton or a Nicho Hynes. Do you not think
But
I just think Damien Cook is playing that good and he's played 80 minutes at Origin before. And also, just because Queensland do it doesn't mean we have to do it.
I know, but it just works well.
Yeah, but also
like when Damien Cook's made when it's 60 minutes into the game and Damien Cook's made 55 tackles. Remember, he's not playing club footy.
I don't know.
He's not playing club footy. Like I know he can play 80 at Origin if he has to, but why would you not bring on someone fresh in the middle of the field, like to just like totally speed everything up again? You can't deny that is, it works. Teams do it for a reason. You can say we don't have to do it because Queensland do it, but Queensland do it and it works.
Yep.
Works really well.
I just think, I don't know.
And I just think,
you should just be trying to pick. It's fucking hard. There's pretty much just those two options.
That's the argument. And my argument is like the injection at hooker is the best spot to put more energy.
Yeah, you are right there. But I would rather in that sense then have Appy start the game and Cook come on.
Yeah, well that's what they did last year. They might do the same. But I don't know. I've been loving Damien Cook's work recently, so I don't want his spot to be affected because I think he should have a really good crack at playing 9 this year. Yeah, I think you've almost got to treat it like they're equal, like 14 and 9, like they're equal positions. Someone's just taking the sting out the game, and then the 14 almost gets the luxury of coming on and ripping and tearing. So because I looked into it. Appy Coruscant started all 3 games last year. I couldn't even remember that. Damien Cook came off the bench in all 3 games.
Yeah, look, they'll probably do that again, to be fair, but I just think leaving Burton last year was still really
I'd have
turned up in Origin Arena. Like he's not out of place any way.
I'd have him over like Critter. People are talking about Critter being in the team. I'd have Burton at centre before. If Tommy's out, Burton would probably be my guy.
Okay. Yep.
Or Campbell Graham. So
yeah. Okay. But let's get into. Okay, so we're still talking about bench. The Queensland team is pretty set, so we don't have to talk about that because they've decided that we know their team.
What do you reckon? Who's going to get their left wing spot? Do you reckon Hammer?
Yeah, I think the Hammer's been too.
No
good.
Tuolangi?
No. The Hammer's been awesome. The Hammer's been electric. I'm not going to leave it. And Val Holmes plays on that side as well.
True.
So,
Gagai's been in great form. People talk about Gagai being on the wing. It's like, mate, come on.
Gagai, it'll probably be Gagai and Cobbo.
They picked Gagai when he's playing shithouse, and now he's actually playing good.
Dude, the Knights were the bottom of the table, like wherever he's playing,
Yeah.
and he literally will get picked, and he plays like a fucking machine.
Yeah,
Every time.
yeah.
Like, shut up.
Yeah.
He's so good.
It's actually hard to look at like James Hooper's like teams and stuff. You know those Fox mate, they actually rattle me. It's like, have you guys literally analyze rugby league for a living? You got dang Gagai on the wing.
Have you ever watched a game of footy? Yeah, but that Blues team. So okay, we're not going to go if buts and maybes because Tommy's going to be playing. Latrell will play centre. That's lock.
Do you reckon Tommy's a lock?
Tommy's a lock. Okay, Tommy's a lock. Touch wood.
My thing with Tommy.
Just wait.
Okay, you go.
I'm then saying I think he's a lock. Whether you think he's not, whatever. But that's just bearing injury. Okay, but then you have 2 weeks in camp to rest and get ready. If they're playing, if one winger will be To'o locked in, the other wing spot pretty open. Who gets it?
I think if Addo, I do think this weekend. I think it comes down to this weekend. If Addo Carr comes out this weekend, plays, and all he has to do is play all right. All he has to do is do his job, in my opinion, and he gets that spot for me. He gets that spot.
But to be fair, if Campbell Graham comes out, has a fucking blinder against the Eels. Also, Campbell Graham has been itching to get into that squad.
I know.
And I know I said last year, don't drop Fox, but they've already cut him off. So to get him back into the team, as much as I would love to see him in the team, Campbell Graham has been in irresistible form.
I think it's one of those things, right, where like, and I'm in the same boat as you, I'd almost rather see Campbell Graham play. Just because I want to see him rip and tear for the Blues, and he's a weapon. But at the end of the day, we're picking a natural winger. He's been there before. He's been at the top of the game for the last decade.
Yeah.
If he's fit and ready to go,
play him.
He's my guy.
Yeah, okay, I'm changing. I want Fox.
Do you know what I mean?
I want Fox, yep.
But if Fox doesn't play that well this weekend, if he still looks a little underdone, mate, Campbell Graham's in. And no one's bloody arguing it because he's in the bloody form of his life.
Yeah. Okay, and then we're saying Luai. Then
so
we're saying...
hang on. With the Tommy thing, before we go on.
Okay.
Trell's a lock. With Tommy, I think, in my opinion, Tommy absolutely gets picked if fit. I think this week, well, Freddie's probably been talking to him every week. Do you know what I mean? You get like, Freddie's probably like on the phone to him going, mate, like either A, what's going on, or B, like, because you got to admit, he has looked a little off the pace, for lack of a better word, so far this year.
He has.
He hasn't looked himself. He hasn't looked like he's throbbing Tommy Turbo.
But he's not 2021 Turbo. I don't know if that's ever going to happen again.
I know, but even compared to the start of the season, like even compared to round 1 and 2 when he came out and he looked awesome.
We had those back spasms and stuff that he was getting.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like...
He looked better this game.
Yeah, I agree.
He looked better.
I think it comes down to if Freddie calls him and he goes, are you ready? And he goes, yep, then he's in. Do you know what I mean? If he thinks he's ready, he goes, mate,
he's not going to say
I'm
no.
good. Exactly.
Yeah.
But if he's like to Freddie, oh, mate, to be honest, like, I don't know, I'm a little low on confidence. I'm still like, I'm still getting used to this new running style. I don't know whatever's going on behind the scenes with him. I think that's for Tommy and Freddie to work out. And if he's good to go, he'll get picked,
I agree, but I reckon that's low-key dribble he's playing.
Why do you reckon it's dribble?
I reckon he's playing.
You reckon it's a lock?
I reckon it doesn't. I think he's playing. I think even if the player is a little bit injured, you're not going to pass him on playing Origin. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just one of those things as a player, you kind of put your body to the side and go, no, I'm playing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the spectacle. It's the pinnacle of the game. That's what you play to play in those moments. And he's shown he loves those moments.
I know. And I'm picking him on that merit as well. I'm just, right now, he just doesn't look 100%.
He doesn't look 100%, that's true. But, even when KP last year didn't look 100%, He played literally the game of his life.
Yeah.
Literally played the game of his life.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm picking him. Like I say, I'm just a bit worried. I'm just a little bit worried. We'll see how he goes because I think I was saying before, Freddie's picking the team on Monday, so close eyes on Tommy Sunday arvo.
8 and 10, we're going Haas and
Jake.
Haas and Jake, easy fix. We've talked about the 9s already. 9 and 14, we think it's going to be Appy and Cook. 11, 12. People saying leaving Cam Murray on the bench. Are you dumb? Same with Liam Martin. Liam Martin's not been...
It's dribble, mate.
Liam Martin's not been playing that frequently, but you're not going to pick Liam Martin.
Is he? When's he back?
He's back this week. He played last game.
He already is back.
He played on the weekend.
How'd he go? I totally missed that.
Well, the Panthers won.
I totally missed that.
Liam Martin will be in that team. He'll be playing right second row. Or left second row, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Murray will probably be playing on the right.
I'm just trying to see his stats from the weekend.
He was on the bench. He only played a couple. He didn't play that much.
He didn't play long?
No, he didn't play long, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, right. 14 tackles, 7 runs. Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, Liam Martin's
playing.
Well, they're the back row picks itself, doesn't it?
Yep. Isaiah Yeo picks himself. Then we were saying Cook. Then we're saying Junior Paolo.
Yep.
Ola Kawadu's kind of picking...
There's
there's been this much chat about him playing. I think they can't not leave him out. I saw him also get up his Manly teammates on the weekend. And when they were 20 minutes into the game, they're only 8-0 down. Everyone's having a little rest. In the background of the huddle, he's hit in the background. He's going, boys, get up, blah, blah, blah. I loved it. Get him in the side.
Yeah, mate, I'd love to see him there. I'm not a lock on him getting picked. I'm not 100% sure. You got Ryan Madison running for 250 meters off the bench last week. As much as I can't stand the guy, he's played for New South Wales before. I think he'll be there potentially. Frizzell's back on the cards. He's been playing great footy so far this year.
The thing with Ola Kawadu is he matches up well against someone like a David Fafita. And he's also big. He's also athletic.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Also, his physicality.
Yeah.
Ola Kawadu this year has been, his physicality and his defense has been so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm just like, because you imagine they'll go 2 middles, right? They'll go Bolo and maybe Saifidi, do you think? Who's the other middle that they've got? But
then, the third, that's the thing. The third bench spot could be Saifidi, or it could be a Madison, or it could be a little smoky Hudson Young.
Well, I think I think Olakwada will be the third. I think it'll be, let's try and, if it's 2 middles, right? We've got Bolo, and who's the other middle that we could probably lock in? Do you reckon it'll be Saifidi? Because they'll play 2, you imagine they'll play 2 props in a back rower, right?
Yeah. It'll probably be Saifidi again.
Unless they pick Maddo as kind of a middle.
He does play lock. He does play in the lock position.
Unless they pick Maddo and Ola.
But
I still kind of would be surprised if he's there. I don't know. I'm kind of just not expecting his name to be read out. Ola Kawadu.
No, I think it does. I think they were going to pick Chloe Matangi, but then he's got injured. And the most likeness for Chloe Matangi is Ola Kawadu. Just big, powerful, right side players. But to be fair as well, Ola Kawadu he just provides so much threat. Just so much punch going into the game. Yeah. Look,
my only concern with him is that why
but Payne Haas can play massive minutes.
Yeah, no,
so can Jake.
No, my concern is more with just the fact that he hasn't been there before. I'm not saying I'm thinking more about what the Blues are actually going to do, not what I want. I know you really want Ola Kawadu to be there, but it's
but
are they risking going with someone new over someone like Madison or Frizzell who have done it before? That's my only concern.
Yeah.
And I think with Freddie, you never know who's going to be on this bench. You never know.
He could pick Talakai again.
And in saying that as Freddie, he probably will pick. He's probably more likely to pick Ola Kawadu than go with tried and tested, because that's not what he does. So, I don't know. I don't really have a strong opinion on the bench. Could be anyone. Could be fucking anyone.
Yeah, who knows? Honestly, who knows? But I reckon it'll probably be Ola Kawadu to be on there somewhere. If he's not, I will be shocked and saddened.
To be honest, I'd be more surprised if he was there. I would.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I would. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, get him in. Get him in through the middle. Like you say, matching matching David Fafita and those guys.
Queensland, we know what their team's going to be. We've talked about it already last couple of weeks, so we won't say much. But
Well, who's their? Well, if they're 1 to 7 picks itself with Hammer on the wing, do we go Papali'i, Ben Hunt, Tino?
Yep.
And then we go Capewell, Kafusi, Carrigan. Then Harry Grant, Jai Arrow, Cotter and Fafita?
Yep.
Who are we leaving out then? We're leaving out someone.
Christian Welsh. But I don't think Christian Welsh can get in front of Tino. And isn't anyone and Tom Gilbert, but I don't think.
Or do you go Tino on the bench and Welch at 10? Because he's basically didn't he captain Queensland a couple of years ago?
I don't know, but I feel like you can't leave. I feel like Tino's starter. You can start Tino. Tino's a starter. You can't leave.
That's a weird one. That's a weird one.
They're almost spoilt for choice.
They are this year.
Similar to New South Wales with forwards, they're also spoilt for choice. So it's adding a nice dynamic. They're kind of very evenly matched teams this year as well. There's not many injuries going into the series. Touch wood. Usually there's someone who's out or something's gone wrong. No one's really out. Both teams are pretty much as good as they're going to be.
Yeah. Assuming the fitness of Tom, Jake, and Fox.
All key players maintain.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be a pretty epic series. Although I don't want to get too into it because we can talk about the teams, but we don't talk about outcomes or predicted outcomes, etc. Because we've got to save that for next week for Nathaniel.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
There we go. That's as much as we've got on.
Oh, just finally, before we move on from the Rugby League, just a final talking point from the weekend. Is it like the Queensland players just get like a bit of a whiff around Origin time, and then they're just like, all right, let's fucking
play awesome.
Like Ponga, Val Holmes,
Munster, Harry Grant.
Mate, I'm scared. I'm really scared. I was scared last year. I'm scared. I'm scared every year. Scared again.
They absolutely terrify me.
How good's Origin? Play good. I'm so excited.
Frothing. Okay. Moving on. We'll move on to a bit of Prem. Hey?
Yep.
40 minutes. We've got to wrap this up quick.
Do we?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
EPL. Quick touch base. Most teams have 2 to 3 games left. It's spicy. I had a little look this morning. I've clicked on the wrong app to have a look. So we've got a fair bit of table congestion now, which is good to see. Brighton with games pending against Newcastle and City to be level on games played. 2 results, either whether it's a win or a draw or 2 wins. 2 draws will kind of have them out of contention for top 4, but a win and a draw, they are right on the coattails of United and Liverpool. Like they'll be a point behind them. Liverpool's a point behind United on 5th. United, plenty of injuries, so they've kind of fallen behind the pecking order a bit. Newcastle also have lost the last couple of games. To be fair, everyone's just started losing, and Man City have just kept on winning.
Yeah.
So that just kind of shows the difference between the teams, I think.
Yeah.
Even Arsenal lost the other day, so they're done. City could finish this comp with, 90-odd points.
Yeah.
So that's,
So they should with that side.
But yeah, that's kind of been the key difference in this last third of the season. Is everyone else has kind of plateaued a little bit.
Yeah.
City have not. And then as far as relegation goes, wow. Okay. So the only team. So there's still 1, 2, 3. There's still 4 teams that could get relegated, and they're fighting. And 2 of them, which is Nottingham Forest, and then Everton, Leeds, and Leicester. Who would have thought Leicester would be in a relegation battle after winning a title only, 6 years ago?
It's 2014, wasn't it? Oh, 15.
Yeah,
15.
sorry, 9 years ago?
15, yeah.
Wow. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
Everton as well. Everton's just always one of those clubs you never expect.
No, totally. They're definitely like a mid-table kind of...
They're like at lowest a mid-table team.
Yeah.
They've always been like that as long as I've known football.
Yeah.
As long as I've known about them as a club.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm pretty surprised that they're there. Because, like Bournemouth, you're thinking, how's Leicester and Everton doing worse than Bournemouth?
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
But can't pick them.
Yeah.
So that's that. And as far as stat-wise, Haaland breaks the record. Act shocked. Broke the goal tally record. De Bruyne is on
how many goals is he on?
De Bruyne.
Haaland.
Haaland's on 36 goals. De Bruyne is on 16 assists. Harry Kane just quietly is on 27 goals.
No one's talking
now,
about
had
it.
this been another season,
Yeah,
everyone would be going, "Holy shit, what a season he's having!"
Yeah.
But everyone's it's so standard.
Has Haaland got the record for most goals in a season?
That's the record now. Yeah.
What was it before? 35.
35. Yeah. Yep.
Who had it?
I want to say Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Okay.
But I don't think that's right. But I want to say that. And then, well, we've also got some tasty Champions League games. Okay. From both the Champions League semi-finals game, the Milan game, so Inter versus AC Milan. Did you see the AC Milan players talking to the fans after the game?
No.
They literally went over to the stands, and there's probably there's all the kind of ultras, if you will, in front of them, and there's probably a collection of 5 people talking at the team, coach, all standing there listening to them. Give them
interesting.
I don't know, well, probably a spray, but I'm they were probably yelling at them, but I don't know what they were saying. But I've not seen anything like it before.
Has the second leg been played?
No, it's
Not
been
yet.
played this week.
This is in the first leg.
First leg. Yeah.
So what are they doing just standing there?
So they lost 2-0, and then
Yeah.
after the game, they went over to the fans, and the fans kind of were
Right.
they were talking to the fans. But they were all standing. It was like their teacher was yelling at them at school or something.
Weird.
It was odd. It was really bizarre, but it was cool. I've not seen anything like it before.
Interesting.
And then the City Real Madrid game. Did you see both the goals from that game?
Oh, mate. Yeah, De Bruyne's goal and...
Vinicius Jr. Are you kidding? Which one was better, did you think? I know which one I thought was better.
I don't know. I'd probably have to watch them back.
I thought Vinicius Jr.'s goal was better. Vinicius Jr.'s
Was that like a...
he was dribbling and then he just cannons it into the top corner.
with his left foot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was...
That's just oh, mate. When you even try and, you can't even fathom...
how good those
how
guys
good
are.
those players are.
And those guys as well. That is probably two of the best teams in the world easily.
Do you know?
Easily, probably maybe both in the top 3 teams in the world currently.
This is dribbly, but hear me out here.
Yep.
Do you know when when you're watching park football or something, say you're watching a Premier League game, and there's a player on the field who's just leaps and bounds better, and you're almost equally as impressed by watching this guy play just local league as you are with a professional, because it's almost easier to fathom how good he is, because you're I play against players this good and he's making them look silly, but you can't fathom Vinicius Jr. making professional players look silly.
The best professional players in the world.
Your brain literally almost, at least from my perspective, I just can't comprehend it.
Do you know what I find really cool, but I find crazy in terms of talent and skill, is when you see the players do, when they're doing the warm-up and they just volleying it to and from each other from the other side of the field, and then they keep it up and they volley it back.
Yeah.
I just reckon that is that is the coolest warm-up.
Yeah.
Because they do it so easily as well. There was a video of Phil Foden doing it with someone the other day. There's videos of Messi doing it with Suarez and Neymar, or Dani Alves, I think, as well. You just watch them do it. And you're like, how are you doing that?
Yeah, it's so impressive.
That is insane. Insane.
Yeah. Leaps and bounds, mate. Leaps and bounds.
They are so much better at football than you can think that. You can, yeah.
You can't get your mind around.
You can't get your mind around it unless they verse normal people.
Yeah.
Like a normal Sunday league comp.
Yeah.
You wouldn't actually, you're just being, obviously he's a freak.
Yeah.
But you don't realize, he's that much of a freak. He's so much better than anyone.
Yeah.
Which makes it weird when you think of someone like Messi and Ronaldo, because you're like, wait a second. These guys are already the best in the world, and they are that much better than elite players.
Yeah, yeah.
They're the players that are considered the best in the world. They are leaps and bounds ahead of.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Because I can remember, I literally went to watch a Manly United game probably 3 or 4 years ago, and there was just this guy that was he played right wing, and he was just untouchable. And to this day, I can still just remember going, that guy is the best footballer I've ever seen. And he can't even crack NPL, for God's sake. Maybe he was an NPL player, but you know what I mean? He's not even playing A-League.
Yeah. Nuts.
And we have a mate, shout out to him, Harry Van der Sarg, playing for Adelaide United now. He would come down and play futsal with like me and Kane and Age and shit. And he's just like,
different.
Even him, just playing with someone like Harry, and you're like, he's so much fucking better than all of us.
Mm. And there's so many little things that would make him better as well. Not just obvious, like, oh, he's obviously better at shooting or dribbling or passing. It's like, but what makes him better is like the little technical things would just be and like timing, pace, like ability to, just know what's going to happen. Like think forward. Yeah. Mate, stuff you wouldn't even realize.
Yeah, frothing.
Mm. Yeah, crazy. So cool though.
Yeah, it is.
Imagine being that good at something. Far out.
Wouldn't know.
Neither. NBA. I know we've been doing a little bit of NBA stuff recently, but I'm gonna keep going with it because it's almost the end. Got the East and Western Conference Finals. We got Celtics versus Miami.
Is this it now? This is the final two?
Yeah. No, Final Four.
Oh, Final Four.
But finals for the West and East Conference.
Oh, okay, I get you.
So Lakers beat...
Yeah, they beat Golden State.
Golden State. Awesome series. Yeah. The Nuggets ended up smashing the Suns.
Yeah.
I thought the Suns were going to be a lot better. They were not. They simply were not. There's some questions to be asked over that Suns team, and I think there could be some tasty trade activity happening coming up for them. And look... Lakers Nuggets, good. The format LeBron and AD and their big players are playing right now, it's hard to look past them, but the Nuggets were top seed in the West. The Nuggets beat the Suns. The Nuggets have, someone who maybe could have won the MVP, has already won, like 2-time MVP player. It'll be, that's a 7-game series. That's going to be massive. Starts tomorrow.
Okay.
Starts tomorrow. 7-game series. I want the Lakers to win. I think they will win, but we'll see. And as far as the Heat versus the Celtics, Jimmy Butler, otherwise known as Jimmy Butler, but has been showing that he is him. He's the guy.
Yeah. Has
been exceptional. If anyone can cause an upset, it's him. If they beat the Bucks, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to also upset the Celtics. That's my thought on it.
There you go.
And you know what? I would also low-key love to see them beat the Celtics because the Celtics fans in the NBA are like Liverpool fans in the Premier League.
Is there bad blood between LeBron and the Heat? Because is he potentially playing his old club?
Nah, but he was there like 10, 12. He was there a long time ago. Yeah. There's no bad blood.
That was 10, 12 years ago?
That was a long time ago.
How long was he at the Heat compared to how long he's been at the Lakers?
He's been at the Lakers for 4 years and he was at the Heat for 4 as well.
Oh, where was he in between?
He started at Cleveland and then he went back to Cleveland.
Right,
And he won them the championship and then he went to the Lakers.
Okay. I've almost blocked out that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when he won that championship. That was when they were down 3-1 and no one's ever done that in an NBA final. Right. Come back and win.
Yeah, right.
And mind you, versing the team with a better record than any team MJ's ever had. So the Warriors that year, their season record was 73-9, which is the best record of any NBA team ever for the regular season. So they were hot and they had this electric team full of like future Hall of Famers, just a stacked team. Nowhere near as stacked as LeBron's team. They were up 3-1. They come back, they win. And that's where that where he does that block in the last minute?
Yeah.
That infamous one, that's where that's from. He had Kyrie on his team. That was who he had on his team.
True.
And Kyrie at that point in time was cooking.
Yeah.
And those 3 games that they played. So they played those 3 games. Kyrie, LeBron, like the game 5, the game 6, the game 7, they won. And people say some of the best basketball you'd ever see, someone capable of playing. Because it's just what they were doing was just crazy. They literally just going off. Like all on the line.
Yeah.
Like this is it.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Just crazy. I wish I was more into basketball when that was happening.
Yeah.
I wish I discovered it earlier because I would have fucking loved it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is what it is.
Good times.
As far as sport goes, that's all we've got for you today. bit of a quick recap of football and NBA, kind of the most important talking points. You got anything else?
No, that's me.
All right, then that's also me. Thank you for the Backpage episode 2. Let us know, do you like this format better where it's just general talking points, or you like the whole round review? Let us know. Origin special coming up next week. Be ready for it.
Stay tuned.
I'm Alexander.
My name's Cody.
See you later.